Kolby Ross, KOLBY ROSS.
I work as a behavior tech in home with kids with autism. And this particular day, one of my friends, they called me and they said, "Hey, can you pick me up?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can be there by 7." I get there and I go up. Lauren and him, they're talking, they're doing their thing. We decided to go to the store to go get something to drink. That kind of set things into motion. I have a 6-month-old at home. So I was actually texting my woman, you know, about to check on my son. All of a sudden, I see somebody dressed in all black, combat wear, kind of. I saw it for just a slight second out of the corner of my eye, and then I see a flashlight, bright, big flashlight. We can't see anything after that. So I'm thinking, okay, this is a police officer. Jascha ran across the street. He proceeded to hit Lauren, body slam him on the floor. We were all pretty shocked because it was just unexpected. It was just kind of it was random. Nobody expected it. There was a big light in our eyes. So, when he was running up, we thought he was a police officer. So, we kind of just didn't say anything. He ended up not being a police officer. He ran straight over to Lauren, hit him, body slammed him. And, that kind of set off all the events that followed. Never met him in my life, never had a conversation with him. I didn't know who he was, why he was running up, anything. I backed up into a window. He's a pretty big guy. After I backed up into the window, that's when the event started happening. He started shooting. I got shot twice before I was able to run off. When I was running off, I got shot in my knee. I was already halfway down the street. I don't know how he hit me, but he did. So I was sent the first video by my lawyers. The first video is in front of, Jascha is in front of Mary's club, and he comes out and he looks around before he runs up to us. That video had sound, and so he walks off. You don't hear anything else, and then about 57 seconds in, you hear the gunshots. For me, living through that experience and having been there, I already knew what was going on. So it kind of hurt to hear, again. And then I was able to see myself run around the corner. I ran into the camera view and it had the sound and I was screaming. I had just been, shot in my stomach and in my ribs. So I was screaming. And hearing that sound come from me, it felt like an out-of-body experience, and it hurt all over again. I feel like I really felt for myself in that moment as if it wasn't me, And so, I teared up watching that video. The second video was sent to me a little later. We had to wait for it to release through the DA's office. That video didn't have sound, but it made a lot more things clear to me. The DA had told me that there was things I didn't understand about the video and, a bunch of other things. So, I was second guessing myself and my memory about what I remember from that night. But when I saw the video, I realized I was correct about a lot of things, and, it just put things into perspective for me. He came out and he was looking at us already prior to anything. We were walking back from the store, so he was already looking at us when we were crossing the street to come back from the store. I learned that he didn't hesitate to run up on us. I learned that he just put himself in a situation with no reason or rhyme to it. We found out later that he actually had ties to a Nazi organization. We did research on him, my lawyers, and then Teresa Rayford from Don't Shoot PDX also did research, and we all came to the conclusion that he had ties to Nazi organizations. In fact, in 2015, he organized a pro-police Nazi event in Olympia, Washington, and it ended up getting violent. For that, they said he wasn't allowed back into Washington as a state. If anything, it was a hate crime. If anything, it was a hate crime. There's 2 black men that he shot and he murdered one. There was no reason for him to run up and put hands on a black man, So for me, it was an open and shut case. For them, not so much, I guess. I've been trying to get in contact with the DA since the situation has happened. I actually got a phone call with his secretary, and it seemed like things were looking up, like we were going to have a meeting. And then they kind of backtracked, and I'm back at square one. So I haven't been able to really talk to them or get a meeting with them. The deputy DA I was working with, Eric Palmer, he really hasn't been much help. In fact, when I was in the hospital, he forced me to testify when I was still sick. I had just been shot. I wasn't okay. I was under a lot of drugs, and I told him that, and he still forced me to testify under duress. And he told me I can't have any lawyers in there. I can't have any family support. So everybody, even the nurses that were administering my medicine, had to leave. And so it was just me in the room, and he was asking me questions, and he was kind of just telling me giving me questions to answer. He was supposed to be my representation as well as Lauren's. The way that he was asking the questions was framed as if I was the criminal and I had to explain myself. So, they say he was on my side, but from where I was sitting, it didn't seem like it. It didn't seem like he was trying to help us. It seemed to me they just wanted to get it over with. They kind of wanted to sweep it under the rug. It felt really forced, and it felt like it was a really fast process. They got it over in 3 weeks, maybe, so I've never seen a case progress that fast. I definitely feel like he saw an opportunity and he took it. He shouldn't feel like he could just kill us and tell us it's our fault. And I really feel like the government, the DA, gave him that mindset. They allowed him to feel like that. They deputized him, and that's not right. We just want justice.